Hello, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to all of you into our Itheum's Community Town Hall number 6. We have this town hall every week to give you updates about what is happening at Itheum and take your questions. We have a lovely community who would love to thank, who appears on our lives and encourages us to do this every week, the town hall. And we make sure in return we take all the questions that you send us on Telegram, take them very diligently, and have our founder Mark Paul answer them for you. Well, I am Anita Tejwani. I am the marketing lead at Itheum, and I am very happy to welcome you all to this community town hall. We have Mark Paul over here, who is the founder of Itheum, who shall be sharing with us the updates from Itheum. And I'm sure you guys have to stick till the end to know what all is happening, what all is cooking at Itheum. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Anita. Hi, everybody, and thank you once again for joining town hall. And super excited to be with you here. And I'm going to give you some updates now. And then at the end of it, Anita will come back and ask us the community questions. Okay, so as you guys know, we keep the town halls very concise and we break it off into three categories: general updates, tech updates, and product updates. So let me start off with the general update section. So one big change we had that we announced last week was we have officially changed our token name. So as a few of you might have known, initially we called our token MIDA, but we have changed it. Now our token's called Itheum, and I wanted to explain why we made this change. So as we are heading into or planning to do our IDO very soon, we're really thinking about our token design, sort of the incentives around it, but also almost the community perception of it, right? So Ethereum is a community project, and we wanted to basically make the user experience as seamless as possible, and felt that having a project called Ethereum with a token called MIDA might not be the best approach, because it might be confusing. You might not know what the token's called or what the link is to the project. So we simplified it, and now we have Itheum as the project and Itheum as the token name. So that was the big change we announced last week, and we're pleased to explain why we made that change to you today. The second announcement is around our community campaigns. So we completed our first ever community campaign round. Huge response. Thank you everyone for participating. It was a really interesting and a really exciting campaign. And it was built around educating the community about Etheum's core features. Now, in the form that most of you filled, there was one question that we had specifically put in, and that was, what are you most excited about with the Itheum platform? And I'd like to say that our core team actually went through and looked at every single one of those responses. We had hundreds and hundreds of them. And we are actually awarding the best two responses a special gift. So stay tuned. If you are those first two, you will hear from us soon. And we were just so excited to see that it seems like so many of you actually understand what Etheum's trying to do and the larger vision. And we're so excited about that, and we're so thrilled and we're humbled by it. So thank you so much for that. A few things I wanted to call out that we saw in the community responses that the community actually really liked. Firstly, they really like the fact that we do our weekly town halls, and then we take the time to educate and explain our progress as we kind of ramp up into our token generation event. So we will keep that feedback on board, and we will continue to do this because we can see that it has some real value. Second, there was massive community interest around our NFMe technology, or non-fungible me technology. So this is really cool because we are really excited about this product as well. The community also loved our data NFT concept, which is awesome because, again, that's a really powerful data utility. And also they were very excited about our Green Room protocol, which is our metaverse interoperability initiatives. And finally, another thing that was continuously called out by community was that they really appreciate that we are multi-chain, that we're not picking a single chain, locking into that, and then isolating different communities. So we are multi-chain by design. We are a community project. We are a personal data project. We have to reach the broadest audience. So we are multi-chain by design, and we're really glad that the community has acknowledged that this is a good choice. Finally, from the general announcement section, I want to give you guys an update about the Data Ambassadors program. So we have completed the first round of it. We have completed our interviews with the core team, and we are pleased to say we have selected the first batch of data ambassadors. So if you are in this batch, by now the community managers would have reached out to you. You will be put into a special Telegram group and engaged with our core team, and you'll start to understand what will be expected of you and what it takes to be an ambassador for Itheum. So a couple of things here. If you're part of the first batch, huge congratulations. Super excited to have you on board the team. If you didn't make it, and we had more than 1,000 requests, by the way. So if you didn't make it, please don't feel sad. Don't feel sad that we didn't get back in touch with you. We have actually have all your entries, and we will eventually have more rounds of ambassadors that we're going to onboard. So please don't feel disheartened that if you didn't make it. We'd love for you to be part of this project, and just stay tuned for when we launch our next ambassador round. So that's it for the general updates round. I'm going to move into more technology updates now, and to do that, I'm going to share my screen. And just verifying, yes, all good. So I can see my screen now. All right, so a huge bit of news that our technical team was working on for the last few weeks. And that is, as many of you know, Itheum is multi-chain. We have a primary chain, sidechain design. So the core Itheum net protocol runs on a primary chain, and then we bridge to sidechains. And we're super excited to announce that starting yesterday, we have added support for Avalanche C chain in the testnet as well. So this is a side chain that we're going to be building on and keeping the Ethereum protocol continuously being multi-chain. So we're adding more chains. We are taking the same data decks, rolling it out across all these chains, and keeping the features in sync. So with that, we are in the Ethereum testnets, the Binance testnets. Now we got Avalanche, we're in Polygon, Parastate, Platon, and Harmony. And what we're actively working on now is on our Elrond integration and our Hedera integration, but Elrond being our biggest priority. So I just wanted to give you a quick demo on this. So I'm logging into the Avalanche implementation here. So it's a decentralized login. So if you notice, I am officially into the Avalanche testnet with the data decks, and you can see all the features operating as is. Now, super excited to announce this today. And whilst I'm in the data decks, I'll give you the second update that we had. So our community who have been testing our data decks in various testnets reached out to us and actually pointed out quite a few issues with our NFT data marketplace. So if you head into our data marketplace, this is a cross-chain data NFT marketplace, a product that's already built. And we had few integration issues, and that was pointed out by our community. So the issues were around the integration with OpenSea. So certain testnets that we have integrated with, mainly Polygon and Ethereum, have a deep integration with OpenSea. So our data marketplace actually deeply integrates with OpenSea. You can generate your data NFTs within Itheum, and then you can actually head over to OpenSea and then trade that in a secondary market, as you see here. So we have fixed all these issues, and now we notice our data NFT marketplace. We've got data NFTs from Avalanche, Matic, Ethereum, everything in a single location. So pretty glad to tell you that these issues have been fixed, and we're just going to continue upgrading our data NFT marketplace. So the next feature we're working on now is actually letting users trade within Ethereum's data NFT marketplace, so an internal marketplace. So you don't have to go to OpenSea. You can trade within Itheum. Finally, I'm going to move now to our product updates. Okay, so I think a few of you would have seen this slide. This details a technology stack or a high-level solution architecture stack, where we have a cross-chain EVM and non-EVM protocol at the bottom, a data DEX data protocol above that. On the right here is the change that we have made. So we have rebranded this data collection and analytics toolkit to be called Data Cat, which is short for data collection and analytics toolkit. Now, the data cat is gaining more and more importance in our ecosystem because it is the on ramp of highly structured, outcome oriented personal data from Web 2 into Web 3 and into Itheum that allows you to trade it. So we just wanted to call out that terminology data cat because you're going to hear more and more about it. And on top of the data decks and the data cat, we have our data metaverse features, which are around non-fungible avatars, a green room protocol, etc. So just wanted to call that out. As whilst I'm on this slide, we had many community questions around a selection of our main chain. So at the moment, Elrond is our main chain, and I wanted to explain why that's the case. So for a data protocol like Ethereum to be successful, we need high throughput transactions. We need to have low cost transactions. And we needed to have really robust user experience for the community. And we felt like Elrond really suits all of that. So that's why Elrond's our primary selection for our main chain. As a backup, we've got Ethereum. And a few of the community members were concerned about that. Basically, the gas fees and the transaction fees are not that good. But our reasoning for Ethereum as our secondary choice is because it is a very robust anchor, right? So for our main implementation to sit on the main chain, it needs to be a robust anchor. And Ethereum is really robust anchor. We have bridges connected all around it. And that's kind of the reasoning why we have Ethereum as our backup plan. So Elrond's our primary selection, and our backup plans Ethereum, and then all our side chains would be bridged and implemented across these. And finally, I just want to touch again on a few points around our data cat. And this, like I said, is the on ramp of highly structured outcome oriented data into Ethereum, one of our key differentiators. And it lets you build really powerful apps on top of it that pulls in really powerful data. So we will actually deep dive into this topic a little bit more. It's not a topic for the town hall, but please stay tuned and we will cover this at some point in the near future. So that's all the updates I have for today. I am going to hand it back to Anita.
Thank you, Mark, for all those updates. I'm sure that helps our community and keeps them motivated to know more and more, dig deep into what Ethereum is doing, and for us to appear every week and give them all these updates. It's something that is a very great thing. Okay, so another beautiful thing about our community is that they are very open to us. They keep talking to us in our on our Telegram, and one of the best things is that they send us questions which we love to answer. And Mark, I'll be sharing those three questions with you for today's town hall. First of them goes like, "What does Ethereum have for the gaming community?"
Cool. Awesome question. Okay, so Ethereum is a general purpose data platform, specifically around personal data. So we're not focusing on any like specific, like any type of data that's not, that's, broad. Like as an example, we're not looking at, weather data or that kind of data sets. We are very, very focused, laser focused on personal data because that's the real value data. So we are actively looking at use cases in gaming because gamers have a lot of personal data, and a lot of this personal data impacts the whole gaming ecosystem, right? We're talking about the guilds and the sub DAOs and the regional sub DAOs, the managers, the scholars. So it's all this hierarchical users generating a lot of data and a lot of insights. So we're actually spending a lot of time now just focused on this use case because Ethereum solves problems with data. That's what we do. So when we look at gaming, we're trying to understand the space more, looking at the use cases there, and creating products on top of Ethereum's platform that are almost retail products that the gaming community, whether you're running a guild or a sub DAO or sub guild, you could participate in these sort of platforms. So gaming is really is exciting for us because it's also really interesting data, and it's a really exciting and engaged community that we are working with.
Great. So the second question goes like, please explain the concept of NFMe and the opportunities or challenges around this product.
Yeah, thank you for that question. So that this NFMe or non-fungible me product seems to be the one that's really getting everybody excited, and really boosting their imagination around the possibilities of it. So, as I was saying, NFMe is non fungible me. Every human on earth is non fungible because every bit of data that we generate from a personal perspective is non fungible. So, it is a perfect use case for an NFT that provides access to the underlying data. So, from a technical point of view, what does this mean? Well, there are firstly the opportunity, right? So, if you have a NFT, an NFMe, that is linked to your personal data and the data that's being generated in the real world. Keep in mind, Ethereum has the data cat, which you can actually generate high value data and link it. This is really powerful now because you can take this to DeFi platforms, you can take it to Web3 platforms, gaming platforms, metaverse platforms, and interact with other tokens or NFT tokens or any sort of participant in that. And that is really powerful, right? Because it covers your identity, it's a data identity, it is a data avatar, and this is really amazing. Now, most of you might have heard of profile picture NFTs, which kind of cover the similar thing, right? There is a profile picture NFT, you have to buy this, and now this is somehow linked to your identity. You can display it on Twitter, you can do all of these things, but the utility is quite limited in that, and it's also not an open platform. Not everybody can afford one of these things. NFMEs are different, right? They have high utility because they're backed by personal data. Everyone will be able to own one of these things. So this is quite powerful. Now, technology challenges, right? Now, the idea that you are represented by an NFT means that you should not be able to sell your NFT because that means you're selling your identity. And this conflicts the NFT standard because an NFT standard is a very tradable standard. So we were really looking at how to solve this problem. Now there is a concept of a soul-bound NFT, which if you played World of Warcraft, you'll understand what this means. That these are non-tradable NFTs. Now that's very easy to implement in a centralized platform, but very difficult to implement in a decentralized platform. So we're really looking at how is the NFMe going to be soul-bound, non-transferable. You might be able to lease it, and if you lease it, you give access to people to use data for a certain time. So these are the challenges that we'll have to solve. But one thing we do have is our other concept of data NFTs, which lets you carve off specific parts of your NFMe and trade it as data NFTs. So the NFMes and the data NFTs work in unison. But it's very exciting. It's got a lot of opportunity. There are some technology challenges to it. But yeah, stay tuned. We're actively working in this space.
Great. As you informed about data NFTs, the next question actually is in alignment to that, saying, does the NFT get generated by itself when voted using the data capture tools on Ethereum? Or can you just throw some light on the NFMe from the user experience perspective?
Yeah. So going back to the example of our data cat, data collection and analytics toolkit. So apps are built on top of this by enterprises, by individuals that generate high value data. So that's the first avenue of data that's coming in and can be linked to a NFMe and a data NFT. The second is through data adapters. So not everyone's going to build apps on our data cat platform. They There might be apps that are outside. In the real world, there might be apps that are powered by Fitbit or Garmin or all of these other sort of data generation platforms. So our Etheum's data adapters are able to suck in a lot of this data and give you ownership of it. So you can augment information collected from our data cat apps with information that's sucked in from the data adapters. So data adapters also will be on chain. So we'll have data adapters looking at your footprint on chain based on your address activity. And this attaches ownership to it. So as you can see, fundamentally what Ethereum is doing is giving you an identity, and giving you the ability to connect all of these external data sources to it and locking it to your identity, your permission, and letting you trade this information, right? So that's quite important to understand. So that's how data is linked to NFMe and data NFT. No, I think that was a really brief town hall. We love to do these brief ones. So again, closing thoughts, guys. If you guys and girls, if you have any questions, drop it on Telegram, drop it on Discord. We are actively monitoring what's happening, and we want to continually keep engaging with you, educating you on what's happening, but also keep you abreast all the stuff that we're doing. So thank you again. Always humbled by the response we're getting from the community, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.